Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Hello, how's it going, everybody? We're feeling good. We're having fun. We're gonna hang out and play some Last Epoch and answer some questions. Who's got questions for me, huh? About where we're at. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna have a little chill time, hanging out in the monolith, killing some bosses. Right at the top of the stream, we've got a couple little housekeeping things. As usual, we do stream for charity. Our charity is right above my head right here, so everything goes to that. Second thing, if you have a question, please feel free to ask it. I'll be happy to answer it. Please put @LastEpochGame in the chat. We pulled questions from Twitch and from YouTube, so wherever you are, we've got you covered. And I'll get those, and I'll be happy to answer them. We do have, in case anyone missed it, I assume that most people that are here have probably heard, but we are moving our release date for Season 2 to April 17th. Gonna be a fantastic launch. Looking forward to it very much. We are moving the Twitch drops that were going to be happening alongside the launch to the new launch window as well. So those happen between April 17th and April 21st. The same time window. Everything's the exact same, just shifting it so that it makes sense. And we are also moving the date that the old supporter packs are going to be vanishing from the shop. So that's these supporter packs. They are being replaced with new ones, but they are going to coexist with the new ones for a little while after the patch launches. So those are going to be sticking around until May 2nd. Sorry. So you'll have a couple weeks to have both of those side by side and make a decision which one you like the best. And the last two dates on our podcast tour around the world with Try and the second one with Aaron and Frosty, those have been moved to April 8th and April 11th, respectively. So bunch of numbers, bunch of dates, lots of info. It's all available up on our news channels on Discord, on our forums. There's a post on Reddit, I believe. So we put it out to all the places of this post. If you want to review that again, check out one of those places. But we're pushing everything back about 2 weeks, and everything's being adjusted to be respectively the same time. Hope that all makes sense. I think I might need to pick a little bit harder content for this character because it's a little bit better than this. I'm kind of just cruising through, not even using my abilities. Except this guy's got some beef to him. There we go. Ooh. All right. Let's start with some questions. Let's get it going. Oh, all right. Any downside to Forge Guard, the two-handed weapon plus shield passive? Yes, there is. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I think it might be attack speed. Either damage or attack speed, I think. I can't remember what it is. I'm sorry. Or possibly both. We'll get the details of that for actual numbers, because it's not a huge downside. All right, can we get patch notes sooner than later so we can theory craft builds? Just a little aside, I just learned where the term theory craft comes from, and I had no idea, so I thought it was cool. This is I saw a little Day 9 short and he was explaining this. I feel it's the sort of thing that he's an expert on, but feel free to fact check this. It was that people were playing, like when early days of StarCraft 1, there was people who were not actively playing StarCraft, but were theorizing on the best way to play StarCraft. and as sort of like a like I don't know, like a jab, like an internet, that's not the right way to do things. It was, oh, you're just playing theorycraft. And I had no idea it was like a bad term initially, which I thought was pretty cool. Which doesn't really matter or mean anything, but whatever. As far as the question with patch notes, I don't have a specific date, but the patch notes are also getting pushed back a similar amount of time, so it's going to be, closer to the launch date still, and we won't be pushing them out early. I'm sorry. Hey Mike, I was wondering if there's a possibility we'll see mirror image support for Mage. Kind of cool skill node with no support. Yeah, I maybe not in season 2. It's one of those nodes that's interesting because it is, I think, the only minion support at all in Mage. It is way off on an island. And when we were originally designing Runemaster, we considered making Runemaster a minion-based mastery. Ultimately, we didn't, and I'm very pleased with the direction we ended up going with it. We kind of made the decision that Mage would be a non-minion class. So I think it's pretty unlikely that we'll see much in the way of mirror images getting any sort of buff. Hey, look at that. There's something you don't see every day. If you haven't seen that before, it's a little Easter egg. Health potions have a chance to drop as beer, and they have exactly the same stats. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a little like, haha, it's funny. If you can't pick it up, you have to use one first. There you go. And it says +1 potion. All right, what do you plan on doing during those 2 extra weeks pre-launch? There's a few little things we're gonna sneak in. There's stuff that we had planned for early hot fixes. So like when we're leading up to a patch, we get to a point where we're like, okay, this build is like, it's functional, there's no major bugs, it's solid, it's really good, we're confident in its stability and its qualities there, and this is what we're gonna launch with. And so we actually already had gotten to that point where we're like, okay, we're done adding new stuff for this build now. And when we decided to push a little bit, we kind of opened that up and said, okay, the things that we're going to go in hot fixes, we're now going to put into the main build, and we'll do more stuff into hot fixes after the season drops. So it's going to be, there's going to be some little things, mostly just minor bug fixing, some little quality of life stuff, something that here's something that just got put in today that I'm very pleased about, that wouldn't have been in otherwise. So you can thank the delay for this. This screen, this probably would have come in like a hotfix on like day 1 or 2 or something like that. So it's not really that big of a deal. But this screen, there's now a little label that shows up here that tells you your the timeline corruption. So all of them, all of the timelines have like a little like woo, like 4,000. That says the timeline corruption there. So you can track your timeline corruption from the screen and see it bigger. And, you know, like little things, like we're just doing more polish, looking at like little feel things. So like pickup radius for items. We were reevaluating that today. Just little things like that are sort of like, as we play test more, we get a better feel for things, and we just catch little minor changes. So, you know, there's always room for more stuff to make it in, and we're trying to do low risk, high reward things because we just don't have the time for big testing on major features. I should drop some of this stuff. I really don't need most of it, I'm pretty sure. We're just gonna start chucking stuff on the ground. It's happening. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? Crazy person. I just can't help but pick things up is the problem. So we're just gonna drop it all on the ground. I want crafting materials. Having those go directly to your crafting material stash is so nice. Okay, we're just gonna share this node wholesale, I think. So the no, I'm doing this the wrong way, but we're doing it this way because here you go. First unplanned impromptu spoiler. So it is less damage and less attack and cast speed, and haste grants added block chance. Here we go. All right, are there any plans for further improvements to the graphics engine of the game? Not necessarily. Ooh, that jumped a lot. Not necessarily soon, just at some point. Oh yeah, definitely. We're always cooking on the graphics. Like there's sometimes it's engine based and like more of like a high level change that affects things, like a shader change that can affect all sorts of things in the game. I think that's something that a lot of people would associate as like an engine update or engine improvement, as it affects everything. But then we're also doing things where like we just make the VFX for something look better because we did a better job the second time around, you know? So both those things are on the list and we're doing them. All right, is there a reason why the gamblers take so much time between gambles? Yes. Do I remember exactly what that is? No. I think part of it was that the just didn't want to incentivize spamming gambling, which I think once we took away the ability to get really good items from the gold gambling, kind of removed the need for it. All right. Ooh, some cool little stuff there. Yes. Glorious. Huh? Yeah. Free freezing. Haven't been here in a while. Welcome back. Are more skins coming with the update? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We've got new categories of MTX coming. We've got new stuff for existing categories, new sets, new packs, new individual pieces, skills. I don't know if we've teased we showed a preview of the footsteps in the as one of the Twitch drops. There's a few things. This UI here got a bit of a facelift as well. It's like these things got pushed up to the side, and the skills things takes up more space because you can equip like a whole bunch of different skills all at once, not just 5 for triggered abilities and things like that. Yeah, it's great. Oh, what do we got here? I've been missing things. How did I miss these things? Vulcan or Valen 1112. Thank you very much for the sub. I can read so good. And welcome to the party, everyone from Big Madive, Cog Ratchet, and Next Morris. Thank you for the subs as well. That's 14 months there, Cog Ratchet. Wow, it's a lot of months. It's a lot of months. Much appreciated. All right. Hello, Mike. Nice to hear from you. Yes, I got a question. Sentinel 1, is Rebuke getting some love this season? No. Okay, yes. Do I know what it is off the top of my head? No. Basically, every Sentinel skill got touched in some way. I think there's an idol that one of the idol enchants that references Rebuke. It's one of those problems of like, I don't remember exactly what got in. Get back here. Thank you. Oh, no, not that far. All right. Did I totally forgot to transfer my stash, I think. Did I do that already? Sweet. May have done that already. Having these go direct is so nice. Any chance we will see timeline bosses turned into Uber bosses later down the line? It's possible. It's fully possible. I think taking existing bosses and like putting twists on them a little bit, maybe a little bit more advanced functionality and a little bit extra stats is like, that's one of those low effort, high reward things that we love to do. Not that we don't love high effort things as well, but good bang for your buck on development time is always nice. Sometimes you get stuck though in the constraints of old design, and then you start reworking the original one, and the scope balloons a bit. And are you guys going to try and squeeze in some extra stuff now that you delayed a bit? It would be nice to get a little more stuff, but all good if you're focusing on polish. Yeah, I mean we're squeezing in some more polish stuff, basically. Can we have the cosmetics character in menu? My druid looks like poop. Yeah, sure. Sounds good. In a previous roadmap, transmog and dyes were slated for 1.4. In the latest roadmap, no time is specified. Is there any update time for this? And does the team have an updated stance regarding character gender selection? A few things in there. I'll be happy to answer them and not die at the same time. And thanks for... Oh, you got a resub. Jarzul. 6 months. Thank you very much. Glad to have you here. As for... dyes, transmog, and character customization, I don't have any timeline on any of that for you. Whether that's next season, whether it's the season after that, whether it's the season after that, I just don't know. I would none of the stances on this have changed. Like, it's all stuff we want to do. I don't know when we're going to be able to do it. It's sort of like as soon as possible, but it's, you know, it's quite a large thing to add. So we have to decide if it's like when it's worth it to do it the best. Pretty well everything's a value proposition. So that's a lot of move speed. Haste effect, move speed. That's nice. It's actually really nice. What are we using? Those are decent. All right. Oh yeah, pick up your sets. Where are they? Here they are. Give me my sets. What does this one have? One of the really cool things with the set affixes that we were able to do is that a lot of set items have mods on those slots that you can't get anywhere else. So a lot of the set affixes, even if you're not using them for the set bonus themselves, just having that affix available on that slot in general is kind of a nice little thing to work into a build sometimes. So like, I don't know, I was seeing some like single set items even being functional on their own now. When made into a reforged set item. Train whistle. Oh, pumping bees, we got more. And Dahariel, 47 months. Oh my goodness, that's so many. I don't know where the train whistle is. It might be my closet that's right there, but it is like there's stuff. I'm still in the process of getting my office all set up. Oh, I almost forgot. If you haven't seen it yet, there is a there's a post that went up showing the piece that's gonna go on my wall. It's gonna go right here. So excited for it. Oh, I don't have a link. If anyone has a link for that, post it in chat. There's a video of like how it's made. It's a big sign, it says Last Epoch. It's all backlit, it's all hand carved. It's amazing. Yeah, it's incredible. Those guys ran away at the exact wrong time. Okay, more stuff's happening. There's just stuff everywhere. I love it. Will the new patch include WASD controls? Yes, the new patch will include WASD controls. It is a beta implementation of WASD controls, so it is there's a lot of new things to add to it still. It is very much a work in progress. Please give us your feedback on it. We want to hear what it does well, what it doesn't do well, things you'd like to see it doing, all that sort of stuff. We have feedback channels set up on our Discord, in game, all these places you can communicate to us specifically for things like that, like places we put, hey, give us feedback here. Be great. And Valtine, thanks for the sub. All sorts of people coming in today. It sounds great. It's crazy. All right. Will champion enemies have ward health shields? No, champions do not have the ward health shield. All of the nemesis that I just fought, this exiled mage that's in this rune prison, the champions, all of these mini bosses, or elites that show up in just in the middle of an echo, things like that. None of those have shields anymore. The shields are getting removed from all of those things. They're being reserved for major bosses, such as timeline bosses, pinnacle bosses, or Shade of Oribus, things like that. It is big boy bosses only. Oh, Steel Mage, that's a 4-digit raid right there. That is a 1,000 person raid. Welcome everyone from Steel Mage chat. That is, whew. Glad to have you with us. Welcome on in. We're talking about Last Epoch. If you got questions for me, put out Last Epoch game in the chat. I'll get funneled to me. I've got 4 pages of them to get through right now, and I should be going faster. I almost want to just put the trailer up for a second so I can just answer questions. Let's put a teaser up, and I'll do a question batch here. Here's a little Void Knight passive. Sure, that's fun with that. How many bug fixes are coming to 1.2? Let's season 2. How many bug fixes are coming to season 2? There's some bugs that haven't been fixed since 0.8, and I'm wondering what's the priority with old bugs. So the priority is basically it's the same as it's always been. It's how big of an impact does this have? How hard is it to fix? And it's all these things get worked in together to decide what the order of any individual bug is. There's tons of work that's been done on bug fixing all over the place, and we are doing more as well. Got any teasers and leaks for us after the guys assume Carv's still employed at EHG? Yes, Carv is still happily employed at EHG. He received no backlash from that endeavor. Any teaser? Yeah, I got teasers. I got teasers. One right here. Yeah, this one. I think this is our second one actually from the stream. Maybe even third one. I think I leaked something else earlier by mistake. So I'm just being told. When you craft the set shards on to an item. Oh wait, I skipped one. Oh my goodness. In one of the interviews, you mentioned changes to the ward system. Is it mostly just that it's not going to be on everything instead of just on the most important mobs? Yes. Essentially, there's some number tweaks as well, but not huge changes to the system itself. When you craft the set shards onto items, does it only carry over the set bonuses, or is it also the stats and conversions? For instance, Meteor is lightning. So when you let's talk about this briefly for a second, just to get the details out of the way. So let's say the Last Bear's Fury is the set we are shattering. We shatter this, and we get the Last Bear's Fury set shard. Thank you, Sidney. Appreciate the sub. Welcome. And so you got the Last Bear's Fury set shard. That one is going to have... Oh, it's not working. Really? Great. Cool. Managed to make it work. Okay, that one is going... So there's these 4 affixes here, and we have picked 2 of these 4 affixes to be the 2 affixes that the shard has. And it's always, and we've picked 2 of these affixes. Thank you, Kane. Sorry. We've picked 2 of these affixes to be the affixes that are the Last Bear's Fury set shard. So I'm not gonna tell you which 2 of these 4 we've picked, but we've picked 2 of them, and those are the 2 that shard gives. And that shard will always give those 2. And because it is something that has 7 tiers, it can go all the way, it can be exalted. You have to do that a little indirectly with some of the new crafting materials, but you can get exalted set affixes. We've often picked ones that are thematically strong, so things that really feel thematic to that weapon. So like, or that item that really brings forth the feeling of it, so that when you put it on an item, it still feels like the same item or a similar item usually. Things that are exciting, things that aren't normally found on that slot, stuff like that, and things that do scale nicely with 7 tiers of affixes. So something that's just like, it said like +1 strength. That's not on any of them, but it doesn't scale great because you can have decimals of strength. That's a bad example because we can just put more on the affix chart, but I'm trying to go quick. And then if you have multiple items of the same set, whether that includes the base set items, so I can have like the Last Bear's helmet and chest piece, and then a reforged Last Bear's gloves, and I would get the 3 set bonus because I would have 3 pieces of the set. When you put a shard from a set item onto an exalted item and make a reforged version of that set item, for all intents and purposes, that item is a set item in that set. So it counts towards the set bonuses, and it has some set affixes on it. Woo! All right, let's take this down so I don't forget. All right, let's keep going. When doing gold, Monolith would be possible to buff the gold pickup range. Would it be possible to buff the gold pickup range just for that mono so we can actually pick up all the gold that drops? We are looking at pickup range in general, not just for specific situations, because I think it's a little too small. Are you considering any changes in the game's UI, more specifically the skill bar and health resource orbs? Not huge changes. There's some minor adjustments here and there, but for the most part, we're very, very pleased with it. I wanted to ask if you do have any suggestions, please feel free to head over to our suggestions channels. I'm not going to say that every time, but it's sort of implied. I wanted to ask if there was any thoughts of adding hideouts. Yeah, we've definitely thought about adding hideouts several times. The short version is that we don't love the idea of pulling people out of communal spaces if we can avoid it. But having places that you're already going to with friends to show off your hideout and customize location is something that we really love the idea of. It's not coming in season 2. Sorry. Just gotta stop picking stuff up, Mike. I know it's pretty, but just stop picking it up. Like, come on. You can do it. Restrain yourself. Glorious experience. Hey, we leveled up. Or at least the abilities did. This, yeah. Damage and leech, sure. I don't really know what the build was doing, but it was working fine before, and it's going to work fine afterwards. Yeah, I love that one. All right. Is Summon Bear getting improvements for the new season? It's getting some better swipe functionality. So, yes, nothing gigantic. Since we are expecting some changes to life, is it going to be both recovery and increased amount, or is there some new life-dependent mechanic? I would say more in that there's better availability and synergy in skill trees for classes that really thematically like to have non-ward defenses earlier on. So you're gonna see things that maybe scale off or synergize well with life appearing earlier in passives, and in stronger amounts on some items for health regen in particular. Hey Mike, are there any changes coming to COF or prophecies this season that you can talk about that you can change how we can target specific uniques? There's not a ton happening there. A lot of that's happening in the Weaver tree instead, and but there's some little things. There's like a couple new prophecies, I think. can't remember the exact thing. We're like removing the need for one of the lenses, so you'll have less pressure on your lenses, so you'll be able to customize better there. Something else we did too. There's a few minor tweaks, nothing gigantic. All right. Hey, Mike. Oh, Iron's Net. Are you playing COF or Merchant's Guild at launch of Tombs? I don't know. I think I'm probably gonna play COF. I played Merchant's Guild last time, in my free time. I did really enjoy it, but I don't know. I really like COF. I so frequently play SSF in general, anyways. It's kind of like it always has been. Yep, back here. I shoved it the wrong way. Yay, we did it. And leveled up too. All right. I have a question. I like last Epoch, but I think the movement is a bit slow. Do you think about adding items to speed up the movement a bit? Well, we are adding one item in Season 2 that just gives you perma haste. So if you want to go fast, there you go. Overall, though, we are pretty pleased with the general speed of most things in the game. I can't see there being huge shifts in the overall meta of speed. I have no idea what we have that we'd want to even take. What do we even take here? I thought I had another category in here. Let's try and slap some stuff on that. Why not? I can't wait for Try's podcast for this. There's so many things I want to talk about. I almost just spoiled one of them right there, and I was like, nope, not allowed to say it. All right, any updates on bringing new MTX into offline play? I have no info on this, I'm sorry. Will there be a revamp of the Necromancer Mastery? Yes, not in Season 2, though. We're going to be focusing on some new stuff for like Lich and some stuff for Necromancer. So Acolyte will be a bigger focus in our next season after this one. There was at one point planned to be a new Lich skill coming for Season 2, and that got shoved to the next season. And so I think we'll see like a bit of Necromancer stuff at the same time there. It feels right putting them together. All right. With the addition of set shards, have there been more sets added to the game? For example, there is 0 set items and any set bows at the moment. We haven't added more set items to the game in Season 2, but assuming that the revamp to the set system goes well, which I am extremely confident in it going well at this point, we're going to start adding set items again. It's been a while since we've added a set item to the game, and we kind of wanted to make sure that the change to the set system that we had planned was solid, and we were happy with it before we really started expanding that as well. Ellie is also predestined to be played on the go on Steam Deck. Will there be further improvements from your side regarding Ellie performance on Steam Deck, or are you concentrating on the PC? Yes, we are adding more stuff for Steam Deck. There's more features coming for Steam Deck. There's so controller updates are so nice for what's happening on Steam Deck for gameplay right now. We are looking at performance as well. We're also looking at UI scaling options. So you're going to have multiple options in the settings for UI scaling. I think it's around here, something like that. There's like you can use small, medium, large, gigantic, tiny. I think there's like 5 or 6 options for UI scale. So much stuff happening. My goodness. Oh, it's a huge gift pack. Oh, that's a lot. So is it 10? Wow. I am Sam. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. some other ones before that too, didn't we, that I missed? Mind bombing. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate you. This is great. And Salmon So also subbed. There's subs all over the place. It's just, I'm just turn this off soon. It's just keeps ringing. You can still hear me though, right? I don't know how to turn it down slightly. Heavy 46 months. Whoa. Whoa. Feels good. Thanks, buddy. Your jug survived the move. I'm quite pleased about. All right. It was like one of the 4 things I wrapped up nicely. All right. I know comparisons are always a bit difficult. It's okay. We do them all the time. But still, what's something you think Pee-wee does better than LE and one where you're better? Ooh. I really don't like answering questions like this, but I will, because there's one thing that PoE 2 has that that we don't have that is so awesome, and I would love to have. And it's being able to lock a tooltip on screen and have it be like its own window that you can move that window around and like anchor a tooltip and actually like have it be a window properly. You know, like you have in Windows. Oh my god, I want that so bad. The way our tooltip system works for things like items anyways, most things actually, is it's only one object that the contents of the object gets changed when it opens. So like this tooltip is the same as this tooltip as like the game object in the behind the scenes. It's just when it closes, it just turns off, and then when you mouse over this, in that like one frame that it's turning on, there's actually a 1 frame delay before it turns on. It changes everything in it to look different, and then it turns on, and that's the same for everything. So like skill tooltips, same thing. Like this is all one object that just keeps getting moved around and change the contents of. So we'd have to change fundamentally how our tooltips work. And one where you're better, I like our crafting system better. I do. I don't think it's a controversial thing to say that you enjoy one or the other more. And I think a lot of it comes down to preference there. So I don't know if, as you say, do better. I don't know if it's actually better. I enjoy it more.
Yes.
Any chance we get a new look at new uniques coming? I don't think I have any new uniques prepped today. I got some other cool stuff. I got some very cool stuff for you. Don't worry. I started slow on the teasers. All right. When will the new supporter packs be available, or we get sneak peeks? They'll be available when the patch drops, so not before the patch drops. They will. I don't know if we'll show them off early. I hope we'll show them off early. I'll ask. All right. Avalanche is my nemesis. Avalanche is the one ability that will like always somehow kill me. I don't know how I survived that. Do I have a ton of cold res? No, I'm even undercapped on cold res. Okay, cool. Any chance the Acolyte gets another melee skill? She's still missing a Lich skill. Yes, that's what I was just talking about a minute ago. I know this question was asked before I said that, but yes, we are looking to post season 2 for another Lich melee skill. We have no details other than that. I don't know what it's going to be. We got like 10% into the like ideation of the base functionality, and then we're like, oh, we don't have time for this. Maybe a little farther than that, but not much. All right. Have there been made any improvements in the audio department for the next patch? Yes. I don't dislike the audio in the game, but I feel like it lacks a bit more punch. Yeah, so we're doing, there's new times when audio can be played, there's new functionality for control over when certain clips get played, when like repeating sounds happen, and frequency and volume, and yeah, there's new tools we've added in and new sounds we've added in, and you know, like sometimes the skill MTX, the skill cosmetic changes for abilities they come with audio changes as well, and some of the new audio is really nice too. All right. In terms of unique items, how they look on characters, have you been able to include more 3D art for uniques to match the 2D? There are more, yes. Percentage-wise, I think it's actually going down because we're adding more uniques faster than we're adding the 3D models for them. But yes, there are more 3D models that do properly represent their 2D item art than before. It's just so much faster to like the code to change to add a unique, like to just make those things on screen work is so much faster than making the models. I heard we get customizable item sets. Will legendary affixes be extracted and be customizable? So I reference you back to earlier in the stream. This question was probably asked before I explained the whole thing, but the really short version, in case you're new, in case you've shown up since then, the really short version is you can pull predetermined fixed affixes from a set item and place them on a non-unique item, and that item then becomes the set that the affix came from in the first place. So you can make your own set items. And set items, reforged set items, as we call them, behave just like the set items they came from and have the same restrictions and same bonuses. Like set bonuses. Just some data. When are you planning to release a new list of legendary items in LP tools? Before that, that's not a second actually. So when are you planning to list new legendary items in last Epoch tools? I think that's what it's supposed to be. The third-party tools cannot update their tools until the patch is live. So like you can put, basically those tools. I don't know. So we are in contact with the people who make those tools, and they do a fantastic job on them. It's really incredible. But as far as I know, they're not allowed to put the content for Season 2 up on those until Season 2 releases. Assuming they have access to it through like CT programs and stuff like that. All right. As far as the supporter packs, we are going to show off the supporter packs early before the patch launches. I don't know how early or when exactly, but you will see them before 17. I mean, I would assume at least by patch notes time, right? All right. For those of us who are mage mains, and it helps assuage some concerns with the ward int nerf. Did mage and its masters receive any love in season 2? Anything you want to tease? Show us. Do I have anything here for that? I don't have any specific mage stuff, but yeah, every class got a bunch of new cool toys to play with, and a lot of what the targeting is about is targeting the curve that you gain access to those things on. So, you know, maybe we took away some like early game ward retention, but we then looked at it and said, okay, well, maybe there's some spot we could put like a little bit more on like a rare item or something like that. Or, you know, like where it's not always about the total amount of power that any individual build has access to. In some cases it is, but it's not always that. In some cases it's just the rate at which you get them in the leveling and character advancement process. That's the big issue. But yes, there's definitely buffs too. Even without them, like it's really not the end. Like, even if we weren't buffing stuff at the same time, the sky's not falling. There are still powerful ward-based builds. You don't need to worry about that. Are there any plans to give the arena champions some love so they have complexity? So they have the complexity of other bosses. There's not much being done there this patch, but I would love to expand that. I'd love to. That's one of those things that it's kind of like a fledgling version of the system, I think, where I'd love to have like a reflection of builds that placed high on previous ladders show up as the arena bosses for subsequent seasons. That's sort of the thing we've sort of internally been like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if one day we could do this type thing. I still hold out hope for one day that being a thing. Chuck some stuff on the ground here. I'm a terrible hoarder. Oh, let's do a shade. Why not? Let's do a shade. Oh, this display only shows empowered corruption. It doesn't show normal corruption. Just FYI. My face. I wanted that. Keep frenzy, or berserk. What's it called? Berserk, yeah. Lost it. It's okay. Oh, we got a siphon at 1 LP. Oh my god, huge drop. Oh my god. No. I'm sure everyone who does shade has a bajillion of those. 6 corruption. Alright, our forged weapon living skins coming. Not for season 2, but that is something that I would love to do more of. What are your thoughts on changing or mixing up the idle grid? Love it. It's something that so the idle grid actually does have these spots. The 5 blocked off spots in the idle grid actually do exist in the code. Like there's hidden spots right here. And we can block off different spots really easily. It's basically just changing the UI. There's actually like just sprites that are just sitting. There's 5 images that are just sitting here over the grid that block it off visually. And some code to be like, don't use those spots. But yes, we can just change the visuals here and change which are the blocked off spots in the code in the back end, and it changes the layout there. And that's something that we have. When we set this up originally, that's something that we were like, okay, we want to be able to change this in the future, so we set it up to be changeable in the future. Love to. Will the set bonuses apply to an exalted item as an affix, or it won't be like on set items? The set bonus will apply just like every other set item set bonus applies. Like it is the set item. Oh my goodness. Lagan is gonna squish me like a bug. This isn't Lagan's timeline. The Emperor of Corpse is gonna squish me like a bug. If I make it to him. Okay. Let's do more questions, because we're now at 7 pages. Okay. We're gonna do this. And is it this? This? Oh no. What is it? There we go. Oh, it doesn't get rid of those. Oh, we already had UI scale stuff here. There's more of it coming. Enemies, allies, where's it? Minions, there it is. Bye bye UI. Oh, my name's there, whatever. We're gonna answer some questions while I'm just looking at me. Right now, what will be inside Season 2 will also be available in Legacy. Yes. Is there any plans to make specific mechanics that will only be inside a season that could be added to Legacy after the season? Yeah, that is the sort of thing that we're open to, and we've done short-term versions of that with Aberoth's release originally last season. It's not something we're explicitly saying yes or no to, but it is something that we are interested if it makes sense for the mechanic. And we're kind of getting to the point where we have enough content that it's not as big of a deal to do that to something with Legacy. Any plans to make the one-shot chest item mod shards farmable? No, because you can't use them afterwards. They're sealed anyways. Getting Unity to work in Kubernetes cluster is magic all its own. Do you think you could do a backend engineer QA share in a future dev stream? Probably not. But maybe? Toss that in the suggestions channel and then I'll get to someone who knows able to decide that. Hey pets, pick up gold when? Hey pets, pick up gold when? Hey, looking good. Hyped for new patch. Yeah, not season 2. I'll tell you that much. With champion set affixes, other potential filtering options, will there be more than 75 rules available? No, we're not expanding the number of rules in the loot filter. It'll still be 75. It's already a stretch. We did make a couple changes that will allow you to combine some rules that were multiple rules in the past, so you'll have access to a little bit more space if you were using some of those rules before. Any primalist changes coming ever? Yes, there's lots every patch. To me, it feels like a class that's a melee, sorcerer, totem summoning, minion summoning, skill triggering class, no identity. I feel like Beastmasters has their clear identity in their companions, and Druid has their clear identity in their transformations. And then Shaman struggles a little bit to bring the totem theming through, but it gets that elemental damage focus from just about everywhere. That earth, physical with earth theming, lightning, weather, and cold weather. We try and keep it as like the nature weather theming for Shaman there. Will we be able to get shards from the champion affixes? Yes. No. Champion affixes are sealed, no shards. Yes, champion affixes are sealed, no shards. I know this patch is focused on endgame, but did anything get changed in the campaign, like area tweaks or boss buffs? Yes, there's changes in the campaign, not huge ones, but there are some changes here and there sprinkled in. Some of them are just like little mechanical things. Some of them are adding in a little bit of quality of life stuff. Some of them are just smoothing out the process a little bit. Some of them are the champions do appear in the campaign as well, so there's an extra added challenge there that makes things a little more interesting as well. All right, I prefer to play offline. For the fast AF loading times, is there any chance for online to have loading parity with offline, or is this fast as it's going to get already? I mean, we're always doing whatever we can to improve the performance of online and get those loading times down as fast as we can. I don't see a world where it can be the same as offline. I just don't see how that's possible. I don't know enough about the back end of how loading happens to know if that is possible or not. I want to say something that I noticed from every podcast you've been in, and it's something quite unique, but your smile and happiness whenever you talk about Elite is contagious, and it's amazing. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm probably smiling a little bit less right now because I'm talking so much, but I wanted to say something. Oh, it's that. Will we be able to cast and move with WASD controls? If the ability is instant cast, yes. WASD does not give you any new functionality that you don't have already. So anything that you can do now, you'll still be able to do with WASD, but it doesn't open up new functionality for casting abilities. If an ability has a cast duration, which almost, or the vast majority of them do, it still will with WASD. Will the nerfs to ward generation and retention, can you give us any more details on the types of nodes that were hit? Mostly the ones that say like that trigger on hit, on crit, things that are like there's some rings, some set and unique rings that have like ward on hit or chance to ward on hit or ward on crit, things like that. Lots of them are given more per hit or crit and a capped frequency, or just one of those things. Last Epoch on PS5, please. I love Last Epoch, and I can't always fire up my PC. Yeah, we'd love to come to console. We don't have any info on when or anything like that, or which consoles it'll be, or anything like that. But yeah, that is something we're still hopeful for. Still working on. After season 2, what's the next top priority you'll be working on? Still endgame or something else? I think let's focus on season 2 for now, and we can get into post season 2 stuff later. I've been working on something for post season 2 for a while now that is going to be awesome, but I don't know if it's the top priority. Probably not. All right, set items are reworked. Yeah, they are. Set shards, so awesome. The actual items themselves didn't change much. There were a couple items that we adjusted a little bit here and there while we were going through and picking out which affix to put on each item. We kind of were like, oh, this could use a buff, or oh, maybe this can use a little change in what it's doing to make it more thematic. Like there's a few minor changes that happen with a few sets, but nothing major. Oh, you know what? Let's put something up on screen because I'm just talking here and this is boring to look at. Here we go. There's something else. Sorry if anyone asked before. Last time I remember it being... I could just make myself bigger too if you want to see that. Nah, that's not a big deal. Remember being asked, not entirely clear, did the team get to improve further on controller support? Oh yeah. So the big thing the big issue controller has right now, and I know I'm blocking myself. Do I have projectile abilities I can show this off with you? No, none of these are gonna work nice anyways. Okay, so with controller support, sorry, let me just shrink this over there. With controller support, currently, because my character is facing this direction, if I use Fireball, Fireball will fire in that direction, period. So if I'm running in this direction, I'm facing this direction, and if I use Fireball while I'm running, it will shoot forward. The new controller support, because say there was a mob over here, and frowny face, I'm angry, little evil goatee, spiky hair. Yeah, that's enough. Because there's an enemy over there, because the context is there's an enemy nearby. If you are running this direction with controller and use Fireball, you'll stop for a brief. You would stop anyways for a brief moment, turn around, and shoot Fireball in this direction, and then keep moving immediately afterwards. So you get a proper stutter step with proper smart targeting that happens because the context is there that this is the enemy you want to hit. Now we also have specialization specific targeting as well. So if we can use Ballista as an example, Ballista has a node in its tree which says, like if you're near it, it gets a buff, I think is what the node is. So you want to cast Ballista right beside you. Bad Ballista. So you want to cast Ballista directly beside you so that it gets the buff. But say you take the Ballista node that says when it dies, it explodes. You actually want to put that Ballista near an enemy. So that's the specialization specific part of it. So it's context and specialization specific because it will see, hey, there's an enemy over here, and I've taken the specialization that says I want to put it near enemies, so I'm going to put it near enemies, even if you're facing this direction. So there's context and specialization specific targeting for every ability on controller that wasn't there before. All right, any new Ancient Era stuff in Season 2? You would be my toddler's favorite person if you put in new dinosaurs. I think technically there are new dinosaurs. Technically I can say yes, but not really, no, I'm sorry, not yet. Ancient Era stuff's going to be the focus of a future patch. Yeah. Learn to make filters in for Game 1.0. Is there anything that we need to have to do for our filters with the new patch? There's a couple things that you'll want to update with filters, but nothing gigantically mega different. But updating them will be useful because there's new types of items. There's a couple new things you can do with them, stuff like that. Any plans to add new skills for current classes, or will those only come with a whole new class? Fingers crossed for new skills. Let's just straight from D3. We will be adding new skills to existing classes. For example, D2 Guided Arrow pre-nerf is getting added into Last Epoch in the form of Heartseeker, which is the one new skill this season for Marksman. Next season, at least, Lich will be getting one new melee skill. We haven't said anything else, but that will be happening there as well. That's the plan currently. You know, everything can change, but that's the current plan. I should do the boss or not. Was adding different class supporting mercenaries ever a consideration? Absolutely. Yeah. We've talked about a few. There's a nod to mercenaries in the game. There's a relic that you can get that gives you a crossbow mercenary. That's kind of a nod to that. I'd still love to do it. I still love to have like a class that's their thing, is they have a mercenary and they build it out. Now the Forge Guard's Manifest Armor kind of plays that role a little bit because you can summon it, it gets a copy of gear, things like that, but it's not quite the same. Need more water. Why is my camera autofocusing? Thought I turned that off. Okay. Was adding different class supporting... Alright, answer that. Gosh. This is not going to go well. I shouldn't be doing this because I need to answer questions, but I like fighting this boss. Times that one. I'm half an hour behind. Oh no. Okay, can the set shards only be used on those item types the set was, or can it be used? Last Bear's Fury used on boots or helmet? No. The base item type must remain the same. The base item category must remain the same. So you may put the Last Bear's Fury, the gloves. Make sure I got that right. The gloves can go on any gloves. They do cause class requirements to be taken into account. So you can't create a conflicting class requirement. So if it is a specific class required helmet, if the affix would create it to be class required, you can't put it on a class requirement helmet of a different class because you can't have conflicting requirements. The Berserk run, here we go. Come on, yeah. That's the same icon. That's what the same icon for Aldrez. Oh yeah, Leech. We'll do Leech. Any changes coming to characters being stuck when walking into / through enemies? I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. That'll be in the patch notes if it is. Off the top of my head, I do not remember. I'm sorry. Right. Thoughts on higher monster density? I think that in certain situations it is awesome and very much interested in doing it. There's some fairly high monster density in a few situations in some tombs that you'll see. Has an option to increase cursor size been added yet? So YOLO mouse isn't required. No, unfortunately, we do not have the functionality available to us to do that. Once we are able to do it, we will, but there's no sign of it happening anytime soon. I apologize. It is something that we are very interested in, but it's just not, it's not a like, oh, we just don't feel like doing it or oh, we don't want to do it. It just doesn't work right now. Can we still upgrade normal affixes after we turn a rare exalted item into a set piece? Yes. So reforged set items can still be crafted like regular items. It's kind of required to be able to put multiple set tiers of the same set affix on. So you'll still want to be ramping that up to 5 or using runes in order to shuffle exalteds around to get it into 7. Any thoughts to making the UI editable? Yeah, it would be great. Move stuff around. If the answer is no, is there a reason for it? It would be nice to do, and I think once we're done doing more standard updates to the UI, it's something we'll try to look towards, but we just don't have the bandwidth to do it right now. There's more important things to be doing in UI work at the moment. All right, are we getting Overleach or something cool like that? I don't think so. Oh, this is one of those things. It was a topic like a while ago. Almost happened. And I don't think it did. Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of break from gameplay and just crush through some more questions because I'm so far behind still. And so here's a node from the Weaver tree to chew on while I'm doing this. So this is an example of one of the styles of nodes that can appear in the Weaver tree. So just getting a little more info there. There's lots of nodes in there, and this is an example of one of those styles. I wanted to hop on my character to play around some, but it's been moved to standard, and we can't wear half my items anymore because I don't have the COF. Any thoughts? Intentionals or an oversight? Yes. So when you go to your stash, there's a button on the top right that lets you merge your stash contents, which includes your faction ranks. So click that, and you'll be able to use them no problem. I think the oversight is not making that obvious enough. I think it may have told you in like a pop-up, but it's one of those pop-ups like stuff's been moved to legacy, and then you're like okay, and it gets glossed over, or it wasn't in there at all. One of the two. Hey, just curious about what we can expect from the Sentinel rework, and what made you guys decide to do so. The biggest thing is that the cat. There's a lot more. We went into this pretty in depth recently on Gazzy's podcast that we did, so more details there, I think. But as for like what brought this about was, I mean, you go look at the current characters, the current Sentinels that are being played, and like the use of volatile reversal is like 99% for anything that's even remotely competitive, because it just did so much work. But we were getting a lot of feedback. People didn't really like playing with it that much. And it was just one of those things where they're like trying to mitigate the bad play patterns that it has while just getting the most benefit out of it. It was just this like buff button that's kind of janky. So we wanted to turn it into a fun to use ability that you were taking because you liked the functionality, and it was also powerful, not that you were taking because it buffed other things. And because it was so far reaching, it affected every other ability in Sentinel. And so they all needed a huge, some of them just number changes, but some of them functionality changes, and it caused a bit of a knock-on effect. And we reworked like sigils is now symbols, and there's some updates there as well to make less busy work. We're targeting the fit and finish, the play, the feel, that stuff a lot, while also trying to make it a little bit stronger, especially at endgame stuff. Hey Mike, I was wondering what's your take about preparation time activities between echoes? To specify a little bit my question, there are currently no break between echoes aside from crafting, which is quite light once endgame is reached. For example, for me, I like to blast for a couple hours, then having some kind of 15 to 30 minute break, juicing content, changing activities, crafting. Yeah, I think we're starting to get a little bit more of that, and I think there's a point where there's like too much of that we're trying to be careful about approaching too quickly. But we're pretty far away from that still, and we're starting to get a little bit more of that with a few more options in crafting, and a few more options in planning with the new woven echoes that's going to the monolith system. So I'd say we're leaning a little bit towards a little bit more of that, but not a ton. All right, have you touched upon loot dropping off screen? It's difficult to play dot and turret builds. Nothing specific really to share. Did I miss Peasant Dev? Peasant Dev, you subbed like 20 minutes ago. I apologize. Thank you very much. As far as loot dropping off screen, we are trying to address some instances of loot being missed in certain situations, but I don't have anything specific for like minions killing stuff off screen right now for you. Did you fix the memory leak on scene change? As far as I know, there are no current memory leaks in the development builds that are being used to prepare for season 2. I haven't personally experienced a memory leak in years, so I don't know if the specific one you're talking about that was happening for you has been changed or not. But as far as I'm aware, there are no active memory leaks in the builds that we are testing. Do you at EHG plans to come to Gamescom in Kelowna again this year? I don't think we are. I would love to. That was one of the most fun times I've had doing anything. I don't think we're coming, because I haven't heard anything about it yet. I feel like we were already planning it this far out last time. We talked about an Epoch Con some time ago jokingly. When can we come and visit you? Well, we're so spread out that we use conventions as kind of like a meetup for the team. But I'd love to. I'd love to. I just want to do more conventions in general. They're so much fun. Exhausting. So much fun. How many people do you have working at EHG at the moment? I don't know. It is a triple-digit number. A low triple-digit number. It changes. It's tricky to nail down as well, because you have people who are like a company that gets contracted in to come do a specific thing. Now they might be contracted for like 4 years, and they feel like part of the team, and they basically are part of the team, but technically aren't. So like they're part of the team, but not working for 11th Hour Games. They're contracted to work with us. So it's it's tricky to define sometimes the exact number of people, but the number of people that are like their day jobs is working on Last Epoch, it's a low triple digit number. Will you guys one day add Falcon skins? Oh yes. Oh yes. If like I think the fastest selling cosmetic we could possibly make would be like a Phoenix Falcon skin. I think that would just be like 100% adoption day one. All right. Hey Mike, can't wait for season start. Any chance the running all over the screen when surfing through your stash has been addressed? Yeah, that was something we were looking at recently. How do you feel about not having a sense of completion on Last Epoch's endgame? Sometimes gonna catch them all maps. Something. How do you feel about not having a sense of completion on Last Epoch's endgame? Something like a gonna catch them all like maps, but for monoliths. Like having something like this where it like talks about the monolith completion, or like. I think they're having like an achievement system would be really good for this, and we don't have that right now. And yes, Kane, I know it's still open. Let's see, I can see you typing. All right, Ellie is my favorite RPG, and I will definitely be buying new supporter packs to support you guys. However, I do think cosmetics will be improved. Is there a consensus effort to improve them? Yes. Oh, okay. Look, going back a little bit, the Weaver. I was wrong. I was cheeky. Can't just tell me something else. The Weaver echoes do track your completion for the Weaver maps, so there is that, which is great. The new supporter packs, the new cosmetics in general. I think that the art team has really stepped up their game for these ones. Some of them are kind of like, oh my god, really? It's that good? So yeah, I'm excited to show those off. Hi Mike, is it possible that minions persist between game sessions? Like when I exit LE, I have minions last time they get auto summoned. Maybe season 2 won't have it, I'm sorry. All right, control scroll wheel to navigate stash tabs. That's a good idea. Go put that in the suggestions channel. It is not currently like that. All right, would Druid get some changes in season 2, or is it more next season thing? I mean, like every class gets changes every season, so yes and yes. Oh, Phantom Grip. It's a cool ring. If I can pick it up, which there's improvements coming to that we just did yesterday. All right. Is there any plans to have skill icons on your board change color depending on what damage type they do? Red for physical, green for poison, etc. We don't. That's something that we've talked about. That we're like, yeah, we should really do that. We should do that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's do that. And gotta find time to do that. In the past, we've been hesitant to do it, but I think we're coming around. At least I have. Doesn't mean much. All right. Do you have plans to revamp the skill system? No, we love the skill system. As it stands now, at least the number of specialization skills is limited since the UI can only show about 4 or 5. Yeah, it's the limit is not because the UI is set up that way. The UI is set up that way because of the limit. And we really enjoy that limit. How expensive is it to make the 3D models for items? I don't know, but I know it takes longer than what it costs to make the functionality for them. What about infinite forge potential items, something you can craft perfectly with long enough time invested? We're not interested in doing that. We've actually been very careful not to introduce those. But yeah, you know, everything has the possibility. Nothing's set in stone forever, but unless something changes, we don't have plans for that at the moment. Excuse me. Are reforged set items, not sure if that's the official name. Yep, perfect. Class as set items or rare items. Can you slam them into unique with LP, for example? They are kind of halfway between both. So they are rare items in the sense that you can still craft on them, but they are set items in the sense that you cannot slam them onto legendaries, onto uniques to make a legendary with them. And there's other systems too that kind of rely on them not really being either, and it treats them a little bit differently. I'll actually show you one of those in like 10 minutes. I'll explain what I'm talking about. I mean, yeah. We'll come back to that. Will there be changes to timeline blessings or timelines area options? There's some minor changes to some blessings, but for the most part, that's pretty similar. Like there's some number scaling, a few new ones that were in some, and some got removed from some. You know, like some minor little things, but no big changes, no systematic changes there. Hello, Mike. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Glad to be here. Having fun. This is a question-heavy stream, and they are good questions today. You guys are doing a great job, so keep it up. Thank you very much for the sub. Lang Rainy Party. Welcome. Stay a while and listen or talk, whatever you want to do. Chatting's good. Hello, Mike. Happy Friday. With the reduction in dot we take at endgame, will there also be any changes to how much damage reduction we can get for dots, like on a passive tree on items? There's a little bit, I think, somewhere, but not really. It's pretty scarce still. The reason we're doing this is because we don't want to put too much more pressure on the other systems, because we could have just put it in those places in general, but we want to keep, we don't want this to be adding too much of a new defensive layer that you're required to heavily invest in as much, which is why we're doing it globally. We're at 1:45 time, so we are a little over half an hour behind in questions. So if you're not seeing me answer your current questions, I'm half hour behind. All right, will there be an Uber Avaroth race? Love the last one. I really hope so. Keep an eye on the news. With the addition of Heartseeker, have other skills been updated to add interactions for it? It's more that Heartseeker got interactions with other skills. Because of the style of ability it doesn't fit great to be triggered by other things, but it does well triggering other things. So like, for example, it can trigger puncture. And it has a couple little integrations here and there, but not heavy. Rogue's a tricky one with that in general. Right. There's a couple items, I think. How about we have a new community item event? A set created by the community. That would be really cool. That'd be really cool. Wouldn't be for season 2. Is Fissure going to finally convert with Smite conversions? Oh, I want to go check this so bad. I think so. I think it did. I do not remember. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna say wait for patch notes on that one. Sorry. All right. If arena champions will be there. Oh. Speaking of arena champions, will there be a way to target farm a specific boss instead of keep retrying the arena over and over, hopes of getting one specific arena boss? These are good questions, and I don't know the answers to all of them. I want to say that there might be a Weaver Tree node that affects this, or if they're not, that's where I would put it. Maybe that's a thing for a future patch for Weaver nodes if it's not there yet. That's the sort of thing that would fit really well on a Weaver Tree node. Is there going to be a battle pass type of things on the season? Always love that grind kind of stuff. It's the style of thing that I think can be done well. I think there's, like a season's journey, and like depends on how you frame it and present it, and depends on like if there are paid versions of it, really strictly that you can't buy more power in those sort of things. There's a whole minefield of all sorts of issues, but I think that it does give more than it takes. So it's something that I'd be interested in doing. But we don't have any for season 2. Anton 8. I always have to check, squint a little bit. Thank you very much for the sub. That is 21 months. We're getting close to 2 years there. That's so cool. You see these huge numbers that pop up. There's a 47, a 46. It's just wild. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Will there be improvements to Bazaar? Price check, less NPCs? Not yet. Price check's one of those things that is, it's like if we could wave a magic wand and it goes in the game, it would be in the game. It's not something that we have the access to at the moment. I apologize for that one. Right, will we be able to somehow use Singularity Unique Idol at last, please? I mean, you can, yeah, just will it be strong enough to use? You'll have to find that out yourself. I don't know if it's, you can definitely use it already, but I understand the sentiment being that there's builds that aren't strong enough to go with it. Will every class can use any skill? No. Like using outside the class. No, it is a strongly classed game. Unequipping a Weaver's Will item and the way it unallocates the skill points is highly frustrating, as it can pull points from other allocated skills. Is this by design, or are there any changes to the way this works? It is by design. You can preempt it if you want by pulling 4 points out and then re-leveling it those 4 points first, forcing it to do the specific ones you want, which I know is not really the same thing. But it's not random. It is specific. I know you didn't say random, but it is not something that we're planning on changing right now. All right, is Mike on live, or is this season 2? This is the live version of the game. This is not season 2 right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, after Carve went rogue last time, I was given strict instructions. I had to delete it off Mike. No. I wanted to focus on being able to answer questions, and worrying about if I was showing leaking anything extra was not worth the stress for me. But you know what I think it is time for? I think it's time to show this one that I'm excited for. Nope. Come on, Mike. Figure. There we go. That's what I want to do. Okay, so these nodes that you in the trailer, you could see. Yeah, Kane sounds good. We're gonna stop taking questions in 7 minutes, or in 17 minutes. So at 20 minutes before the stream ends, in 17 minutes from now, we are going to stop taking new questions. So if you want to get a question in to be answered, because I have 7 pages of questions still to answer here, we're gonna stop taking new questions, and I'm gonna try and barrel through these as fast as possible. And I do apologize that I'm not gonna get through them all. I'll go a little over time probably, but yeah. So this is a node in the Weaver's tree. That when you put a point in the node, so you put 1 point in this node right here, and this slot up here opens up, becomes unlocked. You can then place any weapon or jewelry, I think. Yep, that's the weapon or jewelry slot. You can place any weapon or jewelry in that slot. And whoa, Heavy, 10 gifted subs to the channel. Thank you very much. That's congrats to everyone who got one of those. That's great. Thank you. Yeah, this is sweet. This is really hyped. So it will then drop items that are similar to the item you imprint in the slot. So when I say you place the item in the slot, you put it in the slot, but it's not removed from your inventory. So you have to keep the item in your inventory, and it just takes a snapshot of what that item looks like at that time. So you can put the item, you can imprint the item into the tree. It takes a snapshot of the item. You can craft on it some more if you want. You can brick the item. You can forge it onto something. Doesn't matter. The imprint stays where it is, and then you get a chance to drop similar items to it, thus specializing the type of gear you're finding. So you can be like, I really want to find items like this item, basically. So what I was mentioning earlier about set items, if you put a reforged set item in this slot, it will most of the time it will treat it like as though that set affix just didn't exist, and it'll just chaos that set affix instead. But sometimes it'll also treat it as the set item, the base set item. So this doesn't let you duplicate reforged set items to get more set shards super quickly, but it does work with set shard items, reforged set items as well. Whoa. Okay, more questions. Let's go. Well, this is up there. Have you played the PoE Appreciate League? And is there anything you would want to add from that into LE? I've been way too busy. Haven't touched it yet at all. I don't think I will this time, but maybe. We'll see. I do really like it. Just so busy right now. Any plans on raising the minimum skill level? I feel like you hit max level too early and then you lose big driving factor for motivation. Not for season 2. Is there any plans during season 2 or after season 2 for more of a push for clan guild-esque system? Yeah, I think post season 2 there's a bit more of a push for a clan guild-esque system. One thing to be clear on this, it would almost certainly not include a guild stash. Or if it did, it would be regular trade rules for it. Last Epoch, I remember a bit back, there was a Reddit thread asking for feedback on pet builds. Did this influence Forge Master, Forge Guard, I assume, changes? And what takeaways came from that feedback? Oh, I'm sure it influenced it. I do not remember what got taken specifically from it. Another sub! Vigapt? I bet there's capitalization that makes it easier to read. But thank you very much for the sub. Vega PT. Yeah, see? There's capitalization gets stripped when it goes into the notifications window. All right. Thank you very much. I know that the game works on Proton. Will there be any plans to develop a native Linux version? I know it was dropped a long time ago. I don't know what the status of this is. I really hope so, but I think it's basically just whichever one works the best. Hey, Rhymer. Thanks for highlighting that one there. Hey, bud. Hi. Glad to hear from you. Hope you're doing great. There was separate stories at start for each character. Yeah, like the intro videos. Completely shifted out, or would there be something in future like an Act 0? I think I'd like to see more videos like that tied to like side things you could investigate, where you could like find like a lore tidbit and it would like show up if you wanted it. Like if you went to hunt those things, you could find them. They just didn't play in with how we reworked the start of the game. Any plans to have experience gained on max level characters be rewarding? I mean, it's like one of the most rewarding things you can get at end game, so probably no more than it is already. Not in the form of power creep, but maybe crafting mats, gold gear, could be end game blessing tree possibility. I mean, it's what generates favor, so you want as much as you can right now. I don't think we're adding it in a secondary scaling system. Will be element attack immune to mobs? Will be element attack immune to mobs? Or always capped at 75%? Basically, will mobs be some immune to some elements, like fire dragon should be immune to fire as an example? I understand what you're talking about. Yes, we're adding more of this stuff. Some champions you'll see will show up and they'll be like extremely resistant to fire, that sort of thing, and it'll say on them, and they'll be like a fire themed mob and that sort of stuff. So yeah, we're adding a little bit more of this on really specific situations. But just walking into endgame and a zombie's immune to cold and a goblin's immune to fire is not something we're interested in doing. Where was any chance of getting the tab priority function work for whole categories, so you don't have to make separate rule for each of the tabs in the category? Tab priority function. Oh, I see what you're saying in the stash. Yes. Oh, that's a cool idea. I don't think we've tried that. So not for season 2. Did you guys remove the Lagan safe spot? I sure hope so. I don't know. I don't actually know. I would assume so. If not, I'll try and look for that in hotfix. I wish affix shards auto picked up when you walked over them, especially with all the ground effects that you have to dodge in this game. Not unusual feedback. It's not something we're planning for season 2. Is there any plans to allow casting and moving with WASD? Not specifically. It's something that we might consider. Yeah, so the rest of this question is, spells locking you with WASD feels really clunky and for the most part defeats the purpose. there was no way we could have done that for season 2. There's no way. With when we decided to put it in and when season 2 was scheduled to launch, there was having that functionality to change to every single skill at that point in development was a fool's errand. It would require us reworking the casting and functionality of every single ability, and so many nodes that affect the functionality there as well, that it's we'd have to be really 100% certain that's what we wanted to do, because it is, every ability that's been created in the game has been created with the understanding that that's not a thing you can do. And adding that in now is such a mammoth change that it's daunting to say the least. All right. Hi, Mike. I'm really thrilled to play the new season. I understood class-specific idols will be craftable. Is this the case? Yes. You say, yes, I want my adorned Aftershock idols, unless my Aftershock werebear will be stronger. Yes. Class-specific idols are the only idols that are enchantable. Hi, Mike. Sorry if this has been asked recently. That's quite all right. But is there any new info on the ability to select specific uniques with the loot filter? The current requirement level base is very limiting. I thought it... This is where I'm like, didn't it do that already? I guess obviously it doesn't. Maybe I'm thinking of... I might be thinking of in the bazaar. I can picture a list of picking uniques out of a list, and I might be picturing the bazaar list. I'm sorry. 50-50 on that one. I hope so. I'm back to making the same question. Lol Moxjet 200 hopped on my game server months ago and said I'm down for a dragon class. You guys want to actually play a dragon? Yes. Is this something you guys talked about since then? And yes, I still have the proof. Yeah, keep that proof. Hold on to it. I don't have any info on potential upcoming classes in the future or anything like that. I would love to. I think it's super cool. Yeah, I think there's clear precedent for this being just fun, you know? And we love adding fun things to the game. So who knows what the future will bring, but I keep pushing for it because I'd love to see it. How much of a DPS boost does having a nice beard give you? It's more of a defensive boost than anything. It's some extra padding. Okay. There's the still 33 minutes behind mark. Oof. Will we be able to filter by roles within the range of a tier for an affix, or any way to filter within a specific unique? I should have looked up. You know what? I will look up filter changes for either Try's or Aaron's podcast, and we will we'll get some more details on filter specifics for those. Or maybe I'll see if I can find them out for next week. But I don't know the details of what's changed for filters well enough to talk about them right now. I'm sorry, because I didn't work on that this patch. Quick question about Heartseeker. Will only the first arrow have a chance to inflict ailments, or can each subsequent hit inflict ailments? Each hit can still inflict ailments just the same as the first one. It goes nutty. Any plans to change stash tabs reset? Feels so much worse to buy dozens of them every time than permitted paid stash tabs in the permanent paid stash tabs in PoE. We're not currently interested in having a paid system for this. What I'd really like to see is this is not something in season 2, but something that I will be pushing for. I think it's getting suggested enough that it's a possibility, is a template where you can, as you buy new tabs, it'll just be like auto add to the template, and it'll just like auto pick the next one in your list of templated tabs, and it'll just populate as you buy them. Since Symbols of Hope was shown, could you show how the legendary ring related to with sigils is now? Also, how does idle with sigils duration change? I don't know how the idle changed. The ring is still, it's the same thematics, but just going about it a different way. So it's more auto casting. I think it changes the interval between auto casts, and increased effect or something like that. it's like the two nodes that don't make any sense on that ring anymore. The two mods on that ring that don't make any sense anymore are just like tweaked versions of the same thing. I can't remember exactly how they were tweaked, but it's more conditional, infrequent automation, just like the ring was before. All right. Do you have any plans for Blade Dancer in the near future? Yep. Not huge changes. I think it's on the list for a new ability. I think it's still missing one. I'd love to see a little touch of two-handed support in there. That's my dream there. Can we see any changes to the visual cap for debuffs like bleed or poison? Some builds can and will go above 1,000 stacks, and right now we can't see if any change to the build has made a difference. I don't think we've changed that. I think that's more of a like, why have we let 1,000 stacks of something go up more than anything else? But maybe I think that was done when we're like, no one can get above 1,000. So maybe putting it to 4 digits probably wouldn't break anything horribly. I'm pretty sure it's just like the UI is just, it doesn't look great at 4 digits, so we just capped it at 3 type thing. All right. Any plans for 4th mastery for regular classes? Yes. Not in season 2. What will happen to double health stout idols in my stash once the patch hits and double health affix is no longer possible? One of the flat added health on that will change to a different affix. I don't know if it's health regen or stun avoidance or something like that. Like it's a different similar themed affix, but it'll change. A new character stats UI when? I remember you mentioning it being worked on. No ETA, but yes, it is still being worked on. Slowly, very slowly. Hey Mike, it's already been mentioned that the new Weaver stuff interacts with COF is the only COF rank perks, or is that there also some added synergy with prophecies too? It's that like when the Weaver drops items, when the Weaver's build tree drops items, like for example with the node that I'm showing right there, that one, if you have something on your Circle of Fortune that interacts with drops, it interacts with those new drops as well. So if it's like you get more drops, you get more drops. Old volatile reversal was fun with a lot of skill expression, but it wasn't a buff button. I mean, it was a pretty big buff button. Is there plans to bring back the old VR in some form? Oh, skill expression when it wasn't a buff button. I see what you're saying. Sorry. I can read so good. Don't worry about it. Old volatile reversal was fun with a lot of skill expression when it wasn't a buff button. Yes. Is there any plans to bring back old VR in some other form? I would say the new VR has room to play the way you want it to play. There's room for the new VR to have a high skill ceiling in how you play with it. All right. Any plans to allow arena from? Okay, we're cutting off questions. So no new questions. So if you have like you have like 10 seconds to slap any new questions you want in here. But other than that, we're gonna stop taking questions here so I can just try and get through most of these. One that just got posted that doesn't have a tag that I just answered. All right. Any plans to allow arena from level 1 as an alternate level in quick action? Not really, no. Aspiring game developer, what skills do I need to build to work for EHG? It depends. Like, we've gotten to the point now where you need to be fairly specialized in a specific field to work at EHG. So getting really good at a specific skill would be my advice. A general like all around dev is something we do hire, but usually you need a fair bit of experience now to have a shot. Because even when we post like not senior roles, we get people applying that have so much experience, and it's unbelievable how good these people are. It is crazy. But there's been some people have done interviews that I'm like, how can we only hire one of these people type thing. So yeah, it's quite competitive, which is great. And it's I would say, yeah, pick a specialty and try and focus on that. And if you're working on projects, try and complete projects. If someone's like, I've got these 6 different prototypes that each do something cool that I want to show you, I'm like, eh. Someone's like, here's a link to a game I released. I'm like, oh, cool, let me look at that. So yeah, my 2 pieces of advice. Different take on the stash tabs. Is there any way to change the price for different factions? Because you can change factions, it doesn't really work great, because you could just build up on one, switch, and then buy them all. Yeah, you mentioned tagging them as well. It's only using that faction. The complexity is a little high for... I don't think that the cost is for what most people are using. In almost all situations, there's some outlying exceptions here, but in almost every situation, I think the cost is low enough that reasonably playing COF, there's not really a big need to have 200 stash tabs. And if you are playing to the point where you're getting that need, you've got the gold for it anyways. So... it's not something we're currently looking at very hard. There's a lot of empty space in the character creation screen. Are there any new base classes cooking behind the scenes, or all the devs working on refining and adding current class masteries? The big thing with a class pipeline, there's 2 main categories in the class pipelines. It's the art side of things, so the visuals, the animations, the models, all that sort of stuff. And then there's the functionality stuff, where the skills and all that sort of stuff. I can tell you, because I work on the skills side of things, there's no work actively being done on new classes for new new skills for new masteries right now. We are still focusing on existing ones and new classes. But that doesn't mean focus can't change. All right, hi Mike. Will be the glitch during the Lagan fight when the tentacle blocks the minions, companions, or other players outside fixed for the new season? I sure hope so. You may. I don't know. I have the last time I tried it last time I fought Lagan was on live. Last several times I fought Lagan was on live actually. At least with a pet. I've been playing a lot of marksman, so it doesn't matter. Heartseeker's great. Any chance we can get a tooltips added to minion abilities? Lets us know what it scales off of and the internal cooldowns for these moves. Well, I'll tell you this: they don't scale off attributes. They get the stats from the minion themselves, so you don't worry about the attribute scaling. As far as getting cooldowns and stuff, some of them have that. If you hold Alt on the nodes that they're affected by, some of them get that actually. Like this. Oh. Kill it shed. I agree. Let's do that. Let's get it done. I was really hoping that would just show the tooltip there if I held Alt there and I didn't do it. Played myself. Do you consider the possibility? I'd love to. Do you consider the possibility to end prophecies manually outside of the monos to not skip/lose drops? We've got something for this. All right, check it out. Here's some gameplay. Playing the new Heartseeker build. He bit off a little bit too much that he can chew. Oh no, he's swarmed. He's going. Can he survive? He can pull it out. Oh, he died. Look at all that great gear on the ground. He lost it all. It's just gone. He died. Oh wait, never mind. It's fine. There it is. It's all good. Yay. So we're not completely fixing the problem yet, but we're putting a band-aid on it. This is actually pretty sweet. It works well. It handles most of the really pain point situations, but it is it's not. The question is specifically asking about prophecies and huge drops and all that sort of stuff. So it doesn't quite fix the problem because you kind of what you have to do is hide all the tags with the prophecies issue. So we are going to keep looking at that. It's still something we're keeping an eye on. Here, I'll see if I can restart it somehow. Can I do this if I show it again? There's also another leak in there too if you find it. But would you guys ever add pre-made basic loot filters? Yeah, this is something that I would love to do. I really want to. This is I keep mentioning this and talking about it. I really want to add a loot filter, like share and sort, search, share and sort, yeah, functionality to that in game, so you can just like find ones that other people have made in the community, because frankly the community made ones always end up being better than the dev made ones in just about every game situation like this. So yeah, I think having in-game sharing system for them would be the ideal way to do it. Ways off from that though. Hey Mike, any teasers today or in later streams for the remaining Sentinel skill buffs? We can talk about it. I think I put a little bit of stuff in here today, but not much. We can play some other stuff later. I think I've shown all of the teasers for this one now. Just gonna there you go. There's a bunch of stuff on screen while I finish these questions. We've got 15 minutes left, and I'm gonna try and power through these last only 3 pages. 3 pages only of questions. We have stopped taking new questions from chat. I apologize, just because we are flooded with awesome questions, and I don't want to be here till midnight. But I am really enjoying this right now because you guys have great questions today. Any plans to add branches to existing skill trees? Yes. Not in season 2 so much, apart from some select skills. Are there any new forms of meta progression for players who like to play exclusively hardcore, kind of like a roguelike? I mean, yeah, the Weaver tree progression is a huge part of this patch. It's a huge meta progression system that's tons of fun and lets you customize your endgame experience. There's lots of drops, lots of changes in the content you're going to be playing with it. You'll progress as you go through and get higher tier woven echoes as well. So like you'll notice the UI for the woven echoes is broken up into 4 columns. The ones on the right are much rarer and much harder to get and are much harder to complete and much better rewards as well. And so you'll be progressing through those as you get more of them and get farther into it. I would call that a meta progression, because you can use them on multiple characters as well. Those are shared. The echoes, the woven echoes, are shared in your stash. So like they're not physically located in your stash, but when we say shared in your stash, it's that all characters that share a stash have access to the same ones. It was a rating party I missed. Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all. Would you really love seeing UI MTXs like different designs and themes? This is something we've gone back and forth on so many times. I'm currently on the side of yes, I would love to see that. Do I think it's going to happen anytime soon? Probably not. Love your loot filter creator. Any improvements coming its way? Label size, sound effects, minimap icons. Not much. There's some little things. You can change the size of all of the labels on the ground with the UI scaling, because it is a global UI scaling. I'd love to get that split out, but right now it is all together. All right. Hi, can you add DPS meters so the puppets by the arena? No, sorry. Can an item have multiple set shards added? No. Single set shard per item. Once it becomes a reforged set item by adding a set shard to the item, it is no longer eligible to receive set shard affixes. For example, a belt with Pebbles, Pockmark Sash, and Isidore's tomb binding. If so, does it count as both sets? No, it does not. It does not work. You can only have one set shard on any item. And to be clear, the 2 rings that are part of a single set, Static Touch and something else that I can't remember. Static Touch is a good one. Also getting nerfed. Rate limited on the on the ward gain. I think it gains more ward, but it's rate limited. That's what it is. Anyways, you cannot put both of those on a single ring either. It's just one set affix per item, and each set item has one fixed set affix that it always gives. All right. Are there any plans to add special stash tabs like unique or set? Vague plans, I would say. This is something I was talking about in the past with the new. I've talked about this. I said there's something coming for. I kind of teased this before. There's something coming for the Weaver system that's going to allow us to do like a unique tab easier. This is this imprinting thing that I've been talking about. So by allowing us to like imprint items into the slots, but still keeping that item usable, this lets us. I just saw a question here that I'm not taking new questions, I swear, but I just saw it. I'm going to answer anyways. Does the imprint node work with uniques? Yes, it does work with uniques and set items. They do have a chance to no longer be set. They have a chance to like re-roll into non-unique items when they do drop those. So like they don't always drop as uniques, but can drop as uniques. So yeah, this is what I was talking about with being able to have new tech to do a unique stash tab better. This is what I think we can leverage that with. Will the lizards be staying or going? Staying. There will be fewer lizards and they will drop fewer items. However, they will drop higher quality items. So they'll still be like big hype explosions, all that sort of stuff, but a little bit less crazy with a little bit better items. Just kind of tweaking them into ranges. But yes, they're sticking around. They're happy to be here and ain't going anywhere. Do you have plans to look at uniques that are underused or have too limited use cases? Yeah, we do. We touch on those every once in a while. Sometimes it's just like a new skill gets added and suddenly unique becomes amazing. Or, you know, there's things that have incidental knock-on effects a lot, especially with uniques. And we have touched some of them. We kind of go back and update a few of them every time. The goal is not to have every single unique in the game have a top tier end game build that goes with it. That's never going to happen. There's too many uniques and too few builds that'll be top tier. So we do like having them have a clear use case. And sometimes that's like, okay, this is an amazing leveling. Like Firestarter Torch, no one's putting that in an end game build. Not really, unless it's like a challenge or something like that. But leveling as a leveling item, it's the go-to leveling item for so many classes. And so like, even though it doesn't have this like place in the end game, it has a really clear place in the game. And so we're trying to get more items to have their own place in the game, but not necessarily all of them as super powerful endgame options. The legendary system in general is supposed to encourage that a little bit more. And I think it does a pretty decent job at it. Is there any changes to movement skills? As just like sweeping changes overall, not hugely. I'm sure lots of them got tweaks. How difficult do you think the new Uber is compared to the hardest challenge currently in Last Epoch? This is a really tricky question to answer because technically the hardest challenge in Last Epoch is 1 Google corruption. Just 1 followed by 100 zeros, or whatever the highest number we can physically put in there based on the data type it is. It's probably an integer. And so it's probably less difficult than that, but of like, compared to seriously completable things or fixed difficulty contents, it's significantly harder. All right, circle. But at the same time, we are like raising the floor on what characters will be. So like, I think more characters will have a shot at taking him down, but it will be extremely hard. Like unless you have current Aberoth like on farm, you're not going to have a shot at beating Uber Aberoth, I think. Unless you're willing to buckle down. Forgot to ask, Circle of Fortune changes. Prophecies are nice, but lenses have leave a bit to be desired, particularly around targeting item bases and specific affixes. Yeah, so there's I can't remember exactly which lens type we took out, but we've alleviated some of the pressure that lenses have and restructured some of the rates on like costs for certain prophecies and what they get out of them. So like we've tweaked some numbers and pulled some pressure off a few of the spots in the system, but nothing major sweeping changes. Are you open to drastically change the Weaver's Tree each season to give it new flavor, or is it mostly set in stone? It's not set in stone, especially not the first version of it. I think maybe if we're like 10 seasons down the road and like the Weaver's Tree's in a great spot, you'd probably see very small changes each patch, but it's one of those things that it's prime for changes. It's the way it's set up. It loves being adjusted. Will we have better quality of life for COF Prophecy re-rolls? Especially the animation of re-roll takes a long time when you spend 300,000 favor at once. I don't know. I think it's a really good idea. I think it's a really good suggestion, especially speeding up those animations. But I don't know. I'm sorry. We're only 26 minutes behind. We're catching up. All right. Oh, we're almost actually at the end of the... I guess we stopped taking questions about 20 minutes left in this chat, so there's only 6 more minutes of questions. I love the Room Master and its unique design in the whole ARPG genre. Are there any bigger changes planned for that class? I wouldn't say massive changes. We're nearly 13. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. It's pretty, right? Yeah, it's pretty nearly. Rune Master is still pretty fresh compared to some of the other things out there, so I don't think we are targeting it heavily right now. But I mean, everything's on the list. It's just where it sits on that list. I think there's other things that are higher on that list. Like I'd say Lich, Necromancer, most of Primalist is probably higher on that list right now. Yeah. What are the inherent advantages of abilities that deal multiple types of damage, like Smelter's Wrath and Disintegrate? Well, as we finally start to add enemies that have really specifically high defenses to individual element types, those will have a better time in that situation. Will the Meraphage sword gain set champion affixes? No. Because you can't shatter champion affixes off of a because they're sealed affixes and you don't get the shards from sealed affixes, so it'll never shatter one of them for Meraphage. And the set ones just don't work. You just can't put set. You can't make a unique into a set. Like a unique set legendary doesn't exist, so it will not pull that mod. It'll just ignore it. Because Also, I think when you shatter a reforged set item, you don't get when you use a shatter stone on it, you don't get the set shards that way anyways either. You only get them when you shatter them via the mechanic at the end of the tombs. All right, will pets be able to pick up gold? Not in season 2. We're coming right down to the end of stream here. I think this is where we stop. That's all the questions I have recorded. At near the end of the stream, I do want to go over a little bit of housekeeping. If you stick with me for a minute here, new release date April 17th. Twitch drops and support a creator are moved to April 17th to 21st, so they're shifted, so it makes sense with the launch. Last season's supporter packs also being shifted, so it makes sense with the launch still. So you got a couple weeks of overlap before they're removed. So May 2nd, last season's supporter packs will be going bye-bye. The last 2 tour dates for our podcasts with Try and Aaron/Frosty have been moved to April 8th and April 11th respectively. So we're kind of just pushing everything back about 2 weeks from where it was. Not exactly perfectly 2 weeks on all of them, but yeah. So new release date 17th, Twitch drops 17th to 21st. Old supporter packs going May 2nd. Podcasts on the 8th and 11th of April. Well, tons of awesome stuff there. We are at time, and this has been a wonderful stream. I know I didn't actually play much. I don't think anyone here wants to actually see me play. I think we want to hear me talk, and so I think this went well. If I did not answer one of your questions and you would like me to answer it, I do apologize. It was not intentional. We do have a Discord channel, that Ask the Devs channel, that I hang out in a lot. We have some great community members in there as well that will answer the questions that have been answered before. So please head on over there to ask questions. We're also pretty active on our socials, so like Reddit, our forums, random YouTube comments I'll pop into sometimes for fun. Yeah. Whew. I think that's about it. Anyone got anything cool they want me to say before this ends? I had a great time. I hope you did too. I'll be back same time, same place next week. So I got one more stream with all y'all next week. I'm not sure what we're doing on the 4th. We'll see. Something else big is happening on the 4th that I don't know. We'll come to that when we come to it. But next week I'll be streaming as well. Yeah, I had a great time. Let's go see if there's someone we can go say hi to. Who's out there streaming right now? Oh, there's someone I haven't seen in a while. A ton of people streaming Last Epoch right now. This is so awesome. So cool. I love it. I love seeing people streaming Last Epoch. I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. I'm just crazy biased. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Hope you enjoyed yourselves, everybody. Yeah, drink lots of water. Have a great time. Bye.